3, 2, 1, go. The iPhone 14 is extremely mid. And when I say that, I mean specifically the iPhone 14. As time has progressed, I've got more testy, a bit more sort of, well, I don't know what the right word is, but very much fed up with Apple. They're not doing anything interesting, as it were. I will say this, I love Deep Purple, so I'll give them that. And you know what, all is forgiven, in which case, I love the Apple Watch Ultra.
朋友是一个坚韧不拔的纪录片，在香港的这座。
Now, to start this video off, I've got a couple of updates with the Z Flip 3, which I won't go into this video, so I don't even know why I mentioned it, but basically, it's coming.
I'm gonna come.
I don't really know where I was going with that. I've got a video about Steve Jobs that I might make. I've got a video about a Z Flip, the Z Flip 3 5G. Now, as you can see, I didn't make it as soon as it came out. I didn't do a live stream. I haven't done that with the last couple of Apple events. In fact, I didn't even talk about the last one. And it's not because I think, oh, my channel is dying, what's the point? I'm gonna quit. But what my point is that I just can't bring myself to say anything of note that I think is contributing to the community. What community? Oh, the Apple fanboy community, the walled garden, as it were. Apparently it's nice in there. I got out there ages ago. As you know, I have a Z Flip 3. And why did I get a Z Flip 3? Because no other iPhones were appealing to me in the price bracket. Now, I could have got a 13 mini, but I didn't. It's worth to note that this hasn't always been my opinion. My first new, well, it literally was my first new iPhone, was the first generation of SE. Now, that was exactly what it said on the tin. It was an older form factor with the flagship camera, flagship specs, right? And I had it in 64 gigs. I think that must have been the highest storage you could have got at the time. If not, the highest would have been 128, because I believe it would have been 16, 32, 64 at the time. This was 2016. And ever since then, specifically the iPhone SE, has gone back a bit. And say what you will about that, because it isn't much to note. The demographic of the SE is people who don't necessarily want the latest and greatest, but I just think they could do a lot more as a billion-dollar company. So I just think it's crazy that those phones that people spent £1,100 for if they bought it outright, and even more so if they got a Pro Max, and now degrading. I don't like it, and I feel like if I were to talk about all these, you know, oh, it's the new iPhone 14 Pro, I wouldn't be true to myself, because I sound like I'm proper centralising it around me when I'm literally a channel with just over 200 subs. But my point is that Apple is preying on the fact that people are dumb. And you can see that in everyone having an SUV, everyone having a truck, everyone having an iPhone, everyone having the newest iPhone that they don't need, i.e. everyone having the Pro Max. The point of the Pro Max now, as expensive as they are, they're meant for professionals. Obviously professionals will not use the cameras as their daily driver, but they are meant for professional. They have professional features. But the general population of the United States, the United Kingdom, less so India and Asian countries, but more so now than a couple of years ago, they still buy the top of the top because they want to be top of the top. But they can't afford it. No one lives in their means, and obviously this is a more political video than even I was expecting to make, but that is my general consensus, and that's why I haven't really made any Apple videos. Because they're class leading, I find their laptops, computers and desktops more appealing as a professional, as someone who does professional work. And with the iPhone being a consumer device, it just doesn't strike me as something that I would want because of the price and because of just sort of general morals. However, we will talk about the iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 Plus, the iPhone 14 Pro, the iPhone 14 Pro Max.
Once again it's me, Sexy Burberry.
I won't talk about AirPods Pro, well I'll talk about them right now. They're literally no different except for the fact you can charge them with your Apple Watch charger, which makes the MagSafe Duo more useful, which I think is one of the good products if it wasn't so bloody expensive. It looks exactly, in fact, it's exactly the same as last year's, with a couple of benefits in terms of the camera. But screen exactly the same, chip exactly the same, which they've never done before. They've always brought them up to the latest specs. They didn't do it this year. It's still got the A15. It's still got the same front, it's still got the notch. We all knew this in terms of leaks, but it's just sort of like, you're really making us pay, not more, but again, for the exact same phone. But I think that's even Apple telling us that you shouldn't always buy brand new, and I think that's a good thing. The people who have an iPhone 13 are savvy enough to know not to get the newest one straight away, and the people who have a 13 mini or a 12 mini will probably be staying with it unless the battery dies, in which case they go to the 14. I guess that's a good upgrade path, because it's sort of a half jump. And I feel like some people have done that. I guess it's similar to the PlayStation's like slim consoles, the PS3 Slim, the PS4 Slim, which obviously if you've got a PS3 that still works, you won't buy the Slim, but let's say your PS3, your fat one, dies, then you get the Slim. In fact, even more so, because obviously the Switch is a little bit of an upgrade with the OLED. So if you're looking at stuff like that, then if you put that into perspective, then make your own mind up. But at the end of the day, it's sort of like the iPhone 14 Plus as well, I think is quite odd. They've cleared up a lot of nomenclature with the Plus. They're bringing back the Plus. So yeah, that's one thing I do like, is the names. I haven't actually watched the whole event, and you know what, I like what they've done in terms of marketing for the iPhone 14, so I'll give them that. And then the fact that they're using the Plus name, they're using a new name that or a name they haven't used for a while, is good, because it basically means that they're not gonna, well, they actually might sell a bit more because it's a new phone. Anyway, iPhone 14 Pro.
You didn't paint like I asked you. Did you finish any of the...
They've really gone in with the professional features, and as I don't think I can contribute as much as some people in industry can, I won't talk about specs because that's just not me. What I will say though is, the deep purple is an amazing colour, and in fact even that has swayed me a little bit in like, maybe, but I just don't think it's different enough to justify the price. Still, I'll get into Dynamic Island out of context, I know. I just say this here and now, I did not speak about Dynamic Island, so I'll keep this quick. As I'm editing this, I've only just found this out that I didn't talk about it somehow. I actually like it. I think it's great. I think it's very, not revolutionary, but very ingenious, as it were. And I appreciate that they took the time to integrate it into the operating system. So that gives you get a thumbs up from me, Tim Apple. Well done. Finally, you can lay at rest tonight. It is just last year's phone, really, if you think about it. But then at the same time, it does have genuine features that some people appreciate, especially in videography, photography. These are now brilliant cameras, 48 megapixels, and then they're binning them down to 12 megapixels in terms of the final picture. But you can shoot in RAW, you can video in RAW. The always on display, great feature, but again, something that they could have done ages ago as well. So if we're going to talk about it this way, if your phone's dying, get these used ones, because they are genuine good products. But they're nothing more, they're not revolutionary, they're not like, I need that, like with the iPhone 10. Same thing with Apple Watches, however I think they've done something a bit better with the SE. They've made the SE £249 I believe, which is a way better price, and in fact has again swayed me a little bit into recommending the SE alongside the 14 Pro. I think the SE is a great upgrade from the Series 3 and the Series 4, not necessarily to the Series 8. It's been little. In fact, I think every year since the Series 5 it's been one new feature every Apple Watch. And most people just wear them for notifications on their wrist. And that's why I've never been a big fan of Apple Watches, because I've been a fan of my Pebble, and Google killed that. So maybe my hatred for it shouldn't be directed at Apple, because they were beating Apple until Fitbit bought them, and then Google bought Fitbit and then didn't bring back the Pebble. It's definitely a lifestyle device. The Apple Watch Ultra, however, I think, regardless of the price, I think it's expensive, but also I thought the iPhone X was expensive. I think that is a genuine good new product. I like the design of it. I think it's built for purpose. It's got a 36-hour battery life, which is second to none in this sort of bracket of watch. Again, it's obviously competing with Garmin and that sort, but for people who want an Apple Watch and actually want to, you know, use it in the field, I think the Apple Watch Ultra is a great product, and I would recommend that for someone who has a lifestyle that, oh, I need to always be connected, but I'm always doing stuff on farmlands or the plains or just even going on B roads. I would much prefer an older Discovery. Obviously, can't afford it, whole thing about that, but you got to think about, right, I stress a bit about keeping my things in good nick, so I want something that can be, you know, ruined and still usable. And I think the Apple Watch Ultra, even though it's expensive, and I'd say this even with, let's say for example Timberlands, you can get them ruined. They're meant to be ruined. I think it's a brutalist perspective or brutalist design, where it's like, oh, it's expensive, but it's meant to be used, which I think is great. And I think Apple should have done this way earlier. And I feel like
Враг сзади по левому флангу!
go get, if you want a different phone, go get a different phone. Go get a nothing phone. Sound like the Andrew Tate of, no, because I don't want to get banned. You don't need, well, what's the colour of your 12 iPhones? Deep purple would be the colour of mine. And that space black, I think, is not black enough. I think it's space grey. But if they did a proper space black, zooey mama. iPhone 14 Pro, sick phone, too expensive. iPhone 14 Pro Max, pointless phone, still too expensive. The iPhone 14, do you have an iPhone 13? Yes, don't get it. No, but what phone do you have? Is it dying? Yes, buy it. No, don't. iPhone 14 Plus, again, it's sort of a, I just feel like there's no proper value Apple product anymore in terms of phones, because the SA is compromised as shit. But hey, 13 mini, try and find that cheap. I'd say £400, and you're laughing. Otherwise, Pixel 6a, Nothing Phone 1. But no, I'd never recommend the Samsung A line. Last year's flagship. Try and find that refurbished with a brand new battery. Get Apple Care. You can get Apple Care monthly now, which is another thing. I didn't know when they did it, but I think that's a great option. I don't know when my next video will be. I don't know if I'll rebrand again, make a brand new trailer. I've been struggling a little bit, and you know what? Hopefully in the editing process I can make this video a little bit enjoyable. So that's all for me. Take care, and see you later, my taters. Have a good one.